There is a specific kind of farewell that doesn't actually look like an ending. There are no heated arguments, no dramatic final texts, and no formal closure. On the surface, everything simply carries on. They still answer your calls. They still show up to dinner. They still sound exactly like themselves. But deep inside, something has already flickered out, and most people don't even realize the light is gone until it's far too late. This type of emotional withdrawal doesn't happen in an instant. It's a slow motion collapse built from moments that seem too insignificant to mention at the time. It's the conversation where they didn't feel understood, the instance where they were overlooked, or the recurring pattern that never quite shifted. They see every bit of it, even the tiniest details, especially those. But rather than exploding, they choose to stay. They try to bridge the gap. They offer countless chances and reshape themselves because they aren't the type to give up on people easily. So they endure far more than they should. They explain their perspective with a gentle voice. They try to communicate their needs without letting it turn into a fight. But beneath that calm exterior, a subtle transformation is taking place. They are quietly keeping score, not to be petty, but to observe the reality of the situation. They are noticing who truly stands by them and who disappears. They are watching who actually listens and who just waits for their turn to speak. Every time a painful pattern repeats itself, a small piece of them retreats. It's not a loud exit. It's a quiet step back, a micro adjustment made to protect their own heart. This is why this isn't an impulsive move. It isn't fueled by a sudden burst of emotion. It is purely cumulative. They don't walk away because of a single mistake. They leave because of 1,000 tiny cuts that finally taught them a hard lesson. By the time their distance becomes obvious to you, their decision has been set in stone for months. This is exactly why people are often left reeling. You might ask, why didn't you just tell me? Or why was I the last to know? But the truth is, they told you everything, just not in a way you were willing to hear. Silent departures usually follow a long period of very vocal communication. They pointed out the cracks. They tried to repair the foundation, but when they realized nothing was going to change, they simply stopped repeating themselves. It wasn't that they stopped caring. They just realized that being heard and being understood are two very different things. And that is when the real shift occurs. They stop expecting. They stop over-explaining. They stop pouring their energy into a vessel that doesn't hold water. Externally, the facade remains intact, but internally, they've already let go of the rope. This kind of detachment is often mislabeled as coldness or indifference, but in reality, it almost always belongs to the person who cared the most. It comes from the one who stayed long after they should have left, the one who fought harder than anyone ever saw. If they truly didn't care, they would have made a loud, messy exit long ago. Instead, they gave the relationship the gift of time, and when time failed to heal anything, they simply changed their position in the room. There is a deep psychological layer to this as well. Those who leave in silence often possess a high level of emotional intelligence. They recognize patterns before they become catastrophes. They understand the behavior that lives underneath your words. Because of this, they don't need a smoking gun or a breaking point to make a choice. For them, a consistent lack of effort is proof enough. They don't wait for the house to burn down. They recognize the smell of smoke and decide to step outside before the roof collapses.